and then I'll hit the timer whenever you guys start talking, so whenever you're ready.
Fantastic. Dr. Marchessault, representing Dr. Gilliland, I'd like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to present to you here today. We are your event planning staff for the Give Back, Kickback event, and we are here to present you with our event logistics overview. I'm the team leader. My name is John Beeler.
I'm Alex Chen.
I'm Laura Preble.
Michael Myers.
Travis Hicks.
I'm Tiana Soto. So first, we're going to present to you why exactly we're here, specifically how we're going to help Arizona Resource Center in their efforts to help refugees out here in Tucson. Then from there, we're going to talk to you about our event scope, honing in on the 3 tasks that we were assigned. We are then going to talk about our project timeline, in which we're going to look at specifics and how we're going to achieve those tasks in the project scope, and also the deadlines by which we're going to do those by. And then lastly, we're going to talk about our event stakeholders, the people who are affected by our event, also the outcomes that we hope to reach, and the goals that we're striving to hit with this successful project.
So the first thing that we had to ask ourselves when we were planning this event is why we were here. We didn't want to focus on details without knowing what the full impact is going to be and what we're trying to do. And our objective for this event is to fundraise for the School for Abul. We want to see that to completion. It's 75% of the way there. We just have to get that extra 25% to make your vision a reality for the school. We plan to do that in 3 ways. We're going to connect the residents of Tucson with members of the refugee community. We're going to enlighten the Tucson community as to the resources that Arizona Resource Connection provides, and we're going to relay their value proposition. And then lastly, of course, we're going to empower not only residents with the information about how they can donate money, but we're also empowering our refugees both locally and in Abul, Sudan, with knowledge, and especially once we build that school, we'll be able to really transform their lives.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk to you briefly about the scope for the event. So when I speak about the fundraising for this, we're talking about the money primarily that we're gathering before the event itself. So we're going to be reaching out to all the past donors to give back, kickback type events and any other kind of events that ARC has had in the past. We're also exploring some new venues that we can explore. We're looking into businesses as well as wealthy individuals in the neighborhood that we plan on having this in. As far as the planning, I'm speaking about arranging the entertainment for the event as well as the things that are going to be necessary for these people to perform, stage, sound equipment, things like that. So we've been reaching out to people who are hopefully going to be willing to give this material to us for free and perform for free. And as far as the execution for this event goes, pardon me. As far as the execution of the event goes, obviously the deliverable is going to be a fun event that everyone is going to enjoy with the stipulated goals of raising awareness of ARC as well as funding for the refugee communities, both here and for their families back home in the countries that they come from. As far as executing this goes, what we want to do is involve the refugees in a way that they haven't been involved with a kickback before, because we know that was one of the things that Dr. G wished to accomplish with this. So we hope to integrate them in a way that hasn't been done at past kickbacks.
As you see, there's our project plans, and on your right hand there's a timeline with 5 specific dates, and we'll start on September 23rd. And we will do fundraising, planning, and marketing these 3 parts simultaneously. And in fundraising part, we are going to contact the local business foundations and the potential donors. And in planning part, we're starting coordinating food, wine, logistics, and contact the entertainers and the performance. And also we will do our reservation for our event venue. And also we will contact the refugees to talk about our event, and we hope that they will have their performance on our event. And meanwhile, in the marketing part, we will start designing and marketing materials, which is important to our fundraising, which can increase our chance to get more fund. And also it is important to planning, because our client, our audience can visually see our plans and can know our event much better. And in marketing part, we will also start finding our promo partnership to work with, and also we will use these materials in future, in the later marketing promotion. And basically, all these three parts will mostly finish on the November the 3rd, and on November the 3rd and the 4th, these 2 days, we are going to confirm all details of the event, and like the participants, attenders, plays, to see if there's something we miss, or if there's emergency, like some people cannot attend our meeting, cannot attend our event, so we still have enough time to improve and update our plan. And on November 13th, we are going to do the setup, and we will finish our stage construction. And the most important thing is we will do the rehearsals once or twice to make sure that everyone knows their rules at that night, and also performers and tenors can familiar with their stage, so we are less intense, no panics at that night. Also, we will make sure that we have emergency plan panel to deal with if the emergency, and also we will start coordinating during event donations and event signage, and on the November 15th is the official day to carry out our Give Back event.
So through research, we've been able to pinpoint our 3 key stakeholders for the event. Our primary, most important, are our students for the school event Abul. They're going to be receiving 75% of our funds, meaning we're going to be giving them access to cleaner water, giving them educational material, and giving them new school supplies for their school. So they have the most at stake from this and the most to gain. Next are our donors and sponsors. They're giving us money to donate to this cause with the expectation that it not only gets there, but that we fulfill their side of the bargain, which involves boosting their CSR efforts and boosting how their reputation is seen in the common world. Lastly, the Arizona Resource Connection itself is a stakeholder. They're granting us the responsibility to carry out a mission on their behalf, and they expect us to have professionalism and also have a sense of understanding of the project as a whole. With these 3 stakeholders, we're going to throw a successful event with them in mind specifically. This event will have at least $3,500 raised, and we are honestly looking for much more, and at least 300 people in attendance. Through these outcomes being completed, the interests of those 3 key stakeholders will be successfully completed.
So in conclusion, by putting on this event, our main initiative is going to be finishing that school for Abul. Like John said, we only need the last 25%, and that's our main goal here. But in addition to that, we're looking to spread awareness about ARC and just give people in our community an idea of the kind of resources that they provide for these refugees that are so prominent here in our community. And then lastly, we're looking to just connect the refugee community with the residents here and hopefully gain a new community among them, and through like the art that they do and the entertainment that they can provide and everything that they give back to our community as well. And then at this time, we'll just answer any questions that you have.
Yeah, so my first question is, you've covered a lot of the information here, so what am I hoping from you that you're going to provide by the progress presentation? What do you hope to have accomplished by that point?
Absolutely. By the progress presentation, we look to provide you with not only our event venue, we look to provide you with a number of the vendors that have already committed. We look to provide you with a list of the donations that we already have secured. Among them, we already have a number of either raffle or silent auction items. We have gym memberships. We're currently pursuing resort stays in Southern Arizona and things like that. So you can look forward to more concrete details as that comes forward as far as the specific location and specific vendors who have committed to the event.
Okay. I also am wondering if you have a contingency plan in place.
We do have a contingency plan. Our primary focus right now is really transforming the Give Back, Kick Back event into a Mach 2 level. But our contingency is to have a plan with the Marshall Foundation and a combined partner with the athletic department to create a very festive event in partnership with Bear Down Friday, which happens to be on that same date, November 15th, on University Avenue.
Okay, that being said, with an event of that magnitude, that even your contingency plan is going to take a lot of time, so I really want to know, like, what are your specifics for when you're gonna make that switch, that type of.
We should know within a time span of 10 days for sure what kind of event we're gonna put on. But I would like to emphasize that we're gonna be meeting with Dr. G in person this Wednesday to go over a lot of the details for like the fundraising type things that are gonna go into this. Because a lot of what we determined at that meeting Wednesday and discussing various things she wanted to give to donors, like information about how this could be tax deductible, things like that to them, is gonna impact how we proceed going forward. So we should have a more clear picture of what we're gonna be doing this Wednesday, but we expect to have the venue figured out within the next 10 days or so.
I would even shorten the venue down to probably the next week at the very latest. We have reached out and established contact, and we are in the process of sitting down and negotiating an actual feasibility option for this event at our various different options, if we were to do the upscale fundraiser.
Okay, those are all the questions I have right now.
Fantastic.
All right.
Well, with that, we'd like to thank you again for your time and thank you for the opportunity to present to you. And we look forward to providing you with more information at our next project update meeting.
Okay. All right, good. Let me give you guys some feedback. Okay,
Would
and
you
you
like
can
us to
sit
stay
down
seated?
or stand, whatever you prefer, whatever works best for you.
I'll turn this off.
So, good first round of presentations. The feedback I'm gonna give you is going to help you, for one, your written project plan that's due 1 week from today, and I'm gonna give you the details about that in class on Thursday, and for two, to help you with future presentations. So, you have to remember that with any communication, you are putting your value proposition up front. What will the audience have to gain from listening to your communication? So remember that, what do you think your client would have to gain from listening to this presentation? What is it that they want from you?
They want to know what we're going to do.
Okay, that's secondary to
They
the
wanna
real
know how
want.
it's gonna get them their money.
Yeah, they wanna know how it's gonna educate people, they wanna know how it's gonna get them the money, they want engagement, or they want fiscal returns. So you need to start out with your presentation that by listening to our plan today, it's gonna enhance your organization by this many dollars raised to finish the school, or enlighten this many people on the organization. So the secondary point is, what you're gonna do, but the powerful bottom line on top, or your value proposition, is what you're bringing to the organization. So make sure any communication, you think enough about the audience to what is it they want. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna provide them with that information in my presentation. Good agenda overview, so you forecasted well, you just need to work a little more on your framing for the audience. You forecasted well, told me what the presentation was gonna be about, that was good. Your visual design is nice in that it takes into the organization's colors, clean slides. Your timeline slide could be changed, there's just a lot going on, so I don't know if you wanna do like a half and half thing, but there's just a lot on the page there. I like that you break down the project components into 3 different components. I think that that's easy to understand and digest. You cover a lot of good information. As presenters, you guys are all doing a good job, but you could definitely be excited more. So remember how excited you were to be on this project, and now you've been working on it for a while. I want to see that passion and enthusiasm come through. That would be helpful. And then during Q&A, remember, there never should be an instance where someone answers a question back to back. So multiple people need to engage more. And always after Q&A, you come back with that value proposition at the end. And so that, there was a little awkwardness and you tried to wrap it all up, but come back in with what you're providing for your clients. And you have to manage time. So when you're presenting, you're in control of the room. So I don't know that you should have opened up for questions, because you were over 11 minutes and 30 seconds when you finished. And so it'd be better if you just say, oh, we're all out of time for questions, but you can email us or something like that, because you've got to remember you're managing up, staying on a schedule for whomever you're presenting to.
Absolutely. I think that was an oversight on my behalf, because we were practicing last night going through, and by the time we had gotten through everything, we were at, I think it was right about 6 minutes.
Okay?
So I don't think that we were necessarily kind of envisioning that kind of
Okay.
timeline, but that's
Yeah.
certainly a
So
feedback for us.
it's
We'll have a
always
timer in the
good, yeah, a
future.
timer, or someone
Yeah.
keeping time on your watch, or a cell phone that goes off and vibrates
Would it
like
be
a
appropriate on
minute
the
before.
computer?
You can always do it on the computer.
Okay.
We'll be in different locations though, so just something to help you keep time and somebody knows when to wrap it up. So I thought you did a good job, but again, this is just improving for the future. Content-wise, you guys are definitely gonna have to, by your written project plan, have some things solidified. So I gave you 1 week, it's 1 week, you're still not solidified on what you're doing. I need to know what you're doing, because whatever you're doing, we need to start working on it. And I know you're working on it, but we need to like definitely start partnerships with athletics and the Marshall Foundation and even these big resorts. It's gonna take some time to navigate, so we
absolutely.
need to know soon,
But I
so.
mean, one thing that I should say to that is we are in the process of doing that. It's not like we're figuring out what we want to do. I mean, it's letters have been submitted.
Right, I
phone
realize
calls have
that.
been made, meetings are
Right.
being arranged.
But at some point, you gotta just say, okay, we're going with this one and we're going for it. So I wanna know by Thursday's class what you're doing. You're speaking to ARC tomorrow. By Thursday, I wanna know what your game plan is, okay? I'm gonna check in with you guys in class. Make sure at that point I know what you're doing, okay? And even if it's, we're gonna try this route for 2 weeks, and if we, then at the 2 week mark, we're switching, that's fine. I just wanna know concretely what you're doing by Thursday.
Perhaps we could have better articulated that, but that's been the game plan. Like, if the other stuff falls through, then we were absolutely gonna go with that.
Right, but I don't know dates. I wanna know a solid date, like, okay, it falls through, now we're moving to this at some point, because
Okay.
it's really worrying me that nothing's gonna happen. Do you see what I'm
okay.
saying?
So you
As-
just want
as-
dates quantified?
Yes, I
for-
want to
okay.
know, because you told me 1 week, and it's 1 week, and you don't have, it seems to me that you're no further in specific dates. I know you're doing stuff on your end, but nothing's been solidified.
Okay,
Does that
so we
make
could,
sense?
yeah, we could definitely be better at putting specific dates by
Specific
that and
dates
passing that.
down, yeah, I
Certainly.
think that'll be good for your client and for me.
Absolutely.
So, that all being said, what can I help you with so that you guys can be successful for the project or in future presentations? Or your written project plan?
When is that due?
1 week, the written project plan. So you guys
So
are,
for today. So it's 1 week from today, not 1
yes.
week from Thursday,
Mhm.
okay.
yeah, nothing's due Thursday, as long as you all filled out that survey, or at least we'll fill it out by,
Yes.
Easiest
and
survey
everyone
ever.
got it. What?
Easiest survey ever.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
So yeah, there's nothing due on Thursday other than that, so,
Okay.
yes. Anything else?
Is there any, I don't know, is there any more feedback about the presentation, maybe that wouldn't directly relate to the material that we're learning in class, just to presentations in general?
Yeah,
That you
so,
would note that
so
we
I
can
am
learn?
gonna post all of your individual feedback to your team's file exchange. Are you speaking like verbal, nonverbal stuff, or just the structure of the presentation?
Okay.
Which one do you want?
I would say verbal, nonverbal, kind of more like personal skills.
Okay.
And as our group synergy, not so much me individually, but.
Okay, I think we definitely need to still keep working on the synergy. At this point in this presentation, it's hard to really see the synergy of groups moving.
Okay.
So what I can say for team synergy is just the excitement factor and really like acting excited when you're
Energy?
listening. Yes,
Certainly.
energy.
Okay.
Real quick, just to give you guys each an idea of what I've put for you individually. So, John, you have smooth delivery, nice confident presence, but you need to work towards engaging the audience further. That's that passion and enthusiasm I'm talking
Absolutely.
about. Alec, you were facing this way the entire time during the presentation. You gotta face me, okay? You're doing a really good job, especially if English isn't your second language. You verbally were connecting actually really good. So you need to work on your nonverbals, and that's sometimes harder because that's a cultural issue that you've been, going against this whole time. So I know it's counter to what you've been taught your whole life, pretty much. Just work with your team and get the American style. We move around, we look at our audience, I want to see more of that. But good work. Travis, you started out with your hands in your pocket, you realized that you pulled them out, then you're like messing with your cuff. So there's different nonverbals that you could eliminate that would make me focus in on you more.
Adapt to this as I
so-
go.
What?
Adapters, is that what that?
Yeah, so like he.
I kept fighting to sneeze the whole
Yes,
time I was like.
okay,
Hold
interesting,
this one.
interesting, but, you know, you have a nice confident presence, it's just, bring the nonverbals more. Michael, you also, your whole presentation, you have one hand in the pocket, and you look really good on this side, just bring it out on this side too. Also, your verbal is very clear, nice, it's just the nonverbal we're working on. Lauren, so you're a little soft-spoken, so just bring that enthusiasm, try to be excited, to match your team members, because if I'm telling all of them to be more excited, the team synergy is gonna be kind of lost if then you come in and aren't keeping that energy going, especially at the end, so do that. And then Tiana, you had a little bit of slide dependence at the beginning, so even if you know what you're saying, sometimes the tendency is to glance at the slides, because it's a lot more comfortable than looking at your audience. So remember to maintain eye contact, to really connect. You had very nice, clear verbal delivery. It's just connecting through nonverbals. And so these nonverbal delivery skills, we're gonna learn more in class next week about that. The first presentation is just kind of learned by doing, and then we learn the skills afterwards. Does that give you an answer to your question?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Like I said, all this will be up on your file exchange, hopefully by class on Thursday.
Okay, typically in past years, have you seen the file exchange something that group members are using, or more primarily from the
You
instructor?
can use it for group, but there's so many more cool things out there for
Right.
groups, so
I was gonna say Google
yeah,
and just
like,
Facebook
it's
Direct
just, there's
Exchange.
things that work better for groups.
Okay,
It's just, it's so for me, it's more of an instructor-student posting place.
Okay.
Some groups use it, but it's not really, it's not that beneficial. There's no really value in the other products out there that are free and
Okay.
work better.
okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
Okay, any last questions?
Anybody?
Okay, I don't know if this is gonna be in your arena, so
Okay.
when we were talking to Dr. G for our client meeting, one of the things they asked about was filing this tax form or whatever, and I did some research on it. Basically, one of the other professors came to talk to Dr. G during the middle of the presentation. She said, okay, you know, you guys are a 501c3, okay, cool. And then I started doing some more research, and it looks like they're not. So like, this could be a bad thing if they've been telling people the wrong thing the whole time they've been operating the club.
So you need to confirm with Dr. G, because the thing that I knew is that they were using the foundation's 501c3 for a long time. And then the foundation said, no, you can't do that anymore, and to my knowledge, they hadn't yet done it on their own. So I don't know if they're umbrellaing under somebody else or something, but yeah, you need to make sure, because it used to be, oh, we're not a 501c3, but we have a tax code, so clarify with her, make sure tomorrow you get some face time to understand what they are, because I
We
would.
plan on attending the board.
Okay,
meeting,
so make sure you ask, say something, that's something critical to, because as far as I know, and I could be completely wrong, they had not yet become a 501c3, because it's a long process and they didn't think they had the
And
money.
that's the way it was looking for me, because I'm more concerned about my group side of things, because I can go through all the paperwork and file the 1023 for them eventually, that's fine, that's no big deal. But it takes like a month to hear back from the IRS, and then like, if I goof on something or if I have incomplete information, they're just gonna say, haha, try again. And it costs $850 to file that form, so I
Right.
don't want that to be money out of our coffers, like,
Right,
this is, you know, what we're doing is our thing to help them, but like, I don't want it to be like, oh, this was $850 towards funding the give back kickback, which it's not.
okay. So yeah, I can't help you, all I can ask is that you ask your client to get a concrete
Okay.
answer.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We plan on meeting directly after this to address some of the concerns you raised, so.
Okay, great, well, good work, and I look forward to seeing you guys Thursday, hopefully you'll have some concrete dates for me.
Yes, we will, I
Okay.
assure you of that.
Great,
Thanks a lot.
thank you.
By the way, I apologize about the French cuffs for business casual, it was the career
I
fair,
never
so.
mind if people dress more,
Okay.
professional, than it's just the less
Good,
professional.
okay,
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
glad to hear that. Careful.
Yeah, be careful of these boards everywhere.
Bye.
Bye, good work.
Thank you again.
Uh-huh.
I did not. We have been-
Yeah. I got a new iPad.
You
Yay.
did?
No, no.
Oh.
I'm not joking. I have many, I like them.